High in the northern ranges, maps ended long before the mountains did. Cartographers once marked the region, but every copy after a certain year returned blank in that exact space. It was as if the land refused to be remembered. Old expedition logs describe a sound that did not match any known natural phenomenon. Some called it water, others called it speech, pretending to be water. Most entries end abruptly without explanation. Locals from surrounding valleys rarely spoke about the upper ridge. When they did, their voices lowered instinctively, even indoors. They believed something above the tree line listened more carefully than anything below. Satellite scans once detected a waterfall in the region, but later readings showed nothing at all. Engineers blamed interference, yet the earlier images were never archived properly. They disappeared from all official databases. The last confirmed scientific team sent to the area reported only one consistent detail before contact was lost. They said the mountain felt aware of them. After that, all communication stopped without distress signals. High in the northern mountains lay a village absent from modern maps, as if the world had erased it deliberately. Travelers who came near returned pale and silent. They said the waterfall was watching them. Darien clung to the cliffs like a secret the earth refused to reveal. Wooden homes leaned toward each other, as if whispering in fear. Even the wind seemed reluctant to enter its narrow paths. The elders warned children never to go near the waterfall beyond the ridge. They said it was not natural, not anymore. Some claimed it once sang like a lullaby before turning cruel. A stranger tried to map the region, but vanished before completing his sketches. His journals were found soaked in river water, ink blurred into unreadable screams. Only one sentence remained intact. Do not listen. The waterfall was visible from every corner of the village, yet no path led to it. Locals avoided pointing in its direction as acknowledgement gave it strength. At night, its roar sounded almost like distant speech. Arman, a documentary filmmaker, arrived at Darien village after days of traveling through narrow mountain roads. The air felt heavier as he stepped out of the vehicle. The waterfall's roar was faint but constant in the distance. Villagers stood silently watching him from doorways and behind half-closed shutters. No one greeted him, and even children avoided eye contact. It felt as if his presence disrupted something fragile. He was given a small wooden guest house at the edge of the settlement. The owner avoided conversation and left immediately after handing over the key. Even the walls creaked softly, like they were listening. Every time Arman mentioned the waterfall, conversations stopped mid-sentence. People turned away as if the name itself carried danger, yet none of them ever denied its existence. That night, the wind carried layered whispers through the narrow alleys of Darien. It sounded like multiple voices speaking over each other in a broken rhythm. His recorder captured nothing but distorted static. His camera malfunctioned whenever it was pointed toward the northern ridge. Batteries drained within minutes, despite being fully charged moments earlier. It felt as if something was feeding on the device itself. Before dawn, a small boy appeared outside his window, standing motionless in the fog. When Arman opened the door, the child pointed toward the mountains and whispered that it already knew him. Then he vanished without a sound. Arman checked old regional maps, but found the waterfall missing from most records. Even official documents showed empty gaps where it should have been marked. It was as if the place refused to exist on paper. Despite the growing fear around him, his curiosity deepened with every unanswered question. The sound of the waterfall seemed louder at night, even through closed windows. Sleep became impossible as it echoed inside his thoughts. By morning, Arman had made his decision to reach the waterfall no matter what stood in his path. The villagers noticed his change and began locking their doors earlier than usual. In the distance, the roar seemed to answer his resolve. Arman reached the narrow trail leading toward the waterfall before sunrise, when the mountains were still half asleep in mist. The air felt colder with every step forward now. The sound of rushing water grew strangely uneven. He paused halfway up the ridge as the roar ahead suddenly shifted into something that resembled distant speech. His recorder flickered without warning again. It captured a voice calling his name. Mist thickened around him, and the path seemed to narrow unnaturally as if the mountain itself was guiding him away from the waterfall. He felt watched, not from behind, but from inside the fog. He began hearing faint murmurs layered beneath the waterfall's roar, as though multiple people were speaking at once. The sound was broken and rhythmic. It almost formed language. As he moved closer, the waterfall became visible through the fog, yet its appearance felt wrong, as if it was moving against time. The water fell upward for a moment. Then it corrected itself violently. Arman stood frozen in the center of the shrine, staring at the corroded metal tag bearing his name. The chamber around him no longer felt like a place. It felt like a memory trying to finish itself. The whispering had become calm, almost patient. The voices no longer surrounded him randomly. They moved in rhythm, as if breathing through the walls. Each inhale of sound made the chamber feel slightly smaller. Each exhale erased something he had just thought. His flashlight dimmed further, until it barely cut through the darkness. Yet he could still see the chamber clearly, as if it had learned to exist without light. The shadows now behaved like they were part of a living system. Arman tried to turn back toward the entrance, but the passage he came through was no longer visible. The tunnel had collapsed into smooth stone. It was as if it had never existed. The waterfall outside was completely gone from sound, memory, and sense. Even the idea of it felt distant, like something he imagined rather than entered through. The chamber had fully separated him from the world above. Behind him, the shrine began to emit a faint glow from within the engraved tags. The names on the metal plates shimmered softly, as though reacting to his presence. One by one, the names stopped being readable. The whispering returned stronger, now forming coherent sentences instead of fragments. It spoke about cycles, about people who come, learn, and become part of the silence. It said forgetting was not an end, but a requirement. Arman fell to his knees as the air around him grew heavier, almost like water filling a space meant for breath. He realized the chamber was not underground. It was somewhere between being and not being, a place that collected awareness itself. His recorder suddenly activated again, though he had not touched it. The playback revealed his own voice narrating events he had not yet experienced. The recording was ahead of him, not behind. The whispers stopped abruptly, leaving a silence so absolute it felt loud. In that silence, something inside the chamber shifted closer without movement. It did not walk. It arrived. Arman understood then that the village above had not been protected from the chamber. It was being maintained by it. People were not lost randomly, they were being stored. The final realization came gently, like a door closing without sound. The chamber did not kill visitors, it replaced them. And as Arman's vision blurred into darkness, the waterfall outside began to flow again, unchanged, as if nothing had ever entered behind it. After the disappearance, Darien village did not report anything unusual. Life continued with the same quiet routines as before. Only the wind felt slightly heavier around the cliffs. The guest house where Arman stayed was found empty the next morning, his equipment gone without trace. Villagers claimed they never truly saw him arrive at all. His presence felt like a shared misunderstanding. Inside the waterfall's roar, faint distortions occasionally appear to those who stand too close. Some say they hear a voice narrating their own thoughts back to them. Others simply walk away without speaking again. A new tourist map of the region now includes the waterfall as a scenic landmark. No warning signs are present on any official route. Yet local guides still refuse to approach it directly. Sometimes at night, recordings uploaded from unknown devices surface online, repeating fragmented sounds of rushing water and faint human speech. They are quickly deleted or disappear on their own. But copies always return. The mountain remains unchanged, yet no two descriptions of it match perfectly. Some remember more villages than others. Some remember fewer. All agree on one thing: the waterfall never stops. And somewhere beneath the constant roar, something continues to listen for the next arrival. Show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow.